Hello, I'm the Movie Geek, and I'm about to review Lion. As with most Oscar-worthy films, the UK doesn't always receive these films that far before the Oscar ceremony. But recently I have been fortunate to watch two Best Picture contenders, Hacksaw Ridge and Lion. It was a toss-up between which film received a Movie Geek review, but the better film won, and hopefully it will win at the Oscars. If you haven't seen these films, beware, there are spoilers ahead. Lion is the 2016 film debut of Australian director Garth Davis. It is the adaptation of the non-fiction book A Long Way Home by Saru Bareilles and Larry Buttress. It stars Dev Patel, Rooney Mara, David Wenham and Nicole Kidman, and charts the life of Indian-born Australian Saru on his journey to find his biological mother. This film is a masterpiece in storytelling that pulls at the hardest heartstrings. It successfully highlights the poverty and child neglect in India and makes you feel the frustration and fear that the characters go through. Every aspect of the film makes you feel. It dictates which emotion you have to feel, and by having the first 45 minutes entirely in Indian and centered around the 5-year-old Saru, played by Sunny Pawar, it hooks you in completely into the plight of this young boy. On a side note, I watched this film without any subtitles, and even though I don't speak a single word of Indian, I was able to follow the film completely. The film was released in the UK on the 20th of January, so in some places it is still showing, and made for the relatively small 12 million. It has already made 70 million and counting. But I recommend everyone sees this movie. As mentioned, the film centres on 5-year-old Saru, who lives with his mother, elder brother and younger sister. We follow him as he and his brother go out and try to earn money for food in a small village named Kundwa. Saru follows his brother to a job and is lost. He ends up 1,600 kilometres away from home and living on the streets. The film portrays Calcutta as being a harsh, thankless and dark city, filled with people who don't care. He is constantly ignored and left to fend for himself. He finds a group of homeless kids and is shown a small bit of compassion, but the group of kids are attacked by a group of men. He escapes and ends up in an orphanage, where he is adopted by an Australian couple played by Nicole Kidman and David Wenham. He moves to Hobart, Tasmania in 1987 and lives out the next 20 years, slowly forgetting his past life until he sees jalebi, an Indian delicacy that he remembers from being a child, and which the film shows earlier on. He begins searching for his birth home using Google Earth and trying to match up images with what he remembers. The portrayal of Saru, Dev Patel, is heartfelt and emotional, with him driven to madness about having these memories, but at the same time feeling guilty and feeling like he's betraying his adopted parents. You genuinely feel for the characters and want them to find their answers. Saru and his brother Gadu are inseparable, and as mentioned, I watched this film without any subtitles. Their closeness came through everything they went through on screen and through their actions. We see the distress that a 5-year-old goes through when he wakes up alone on a train station platform and, using a 5-year-old's logic, climbs aboard a train expecting his brother to be there. He falls asleep and is transferred to Calcutta, and the film successfully sticks to Saru's point of view, watching the world around him and successfully begging and surviving in a place that has an extremely poor social welfare system. He ends up being taken to the police station and then transferred to the orphanage. He is then taken to Australia, where his life takes a serious upstroke. He has safety, education and a family. He gains another adoptive Indian brother, and 20 years pass by and Saru is a successful student studying hotel management. He meets Rooney Mara's Lucy and they become a couple. He is shown to be a well-adjusted and intelligent young man, showing that he has had a good upbringing and most likely a longer life than he would have had if he had stayed in India. He purposefully keeps his search from his adopted parents as to not hurt them. But when he finds his home, he opens up to them, and to his surprise, they are supportive of this search. This is where the film excels, as it concentrates on Saru's story, but also gives focus on Nicole Kidman's Sue Bareilles, and shows the audience the reason why the couple adopted two Indians. It doesn't forced conflict between Saru and his adopted parents. It just tells the story. Garth Davis has produced a quality and moving film that doesn't go overboard. As it is based on Saru Bareilly's own life experiences, it already has the emotional beats that a film like this needs, and Davis successfully steers clear of forcing additional conflict and false emotion than what this story already has. We see the story from Saru's point of view, and by doing this, we are essentially living his life. It's an ordeal from the moment he wakes up on the platform. When he becomes obsessed with finding home, he becomes guilty and falls into a pit of despair. He quits his job and becomes almost reclusive, opting to ignore his family and friends. The film goes as far as to make the viewer feel everything that Saru goes through, every up and every down. All the actors play their roles well, with Dev Patel earning his BAFTA, and hopefully he will go on to nab the Best Supporting Oscar. Nicole Kidman plays Saru's mother extremely well, with her emotional story arcs setting up the final scenes of the real-life Bareilly's meeting Kamala Munshi, Saru's biological mother. Overall, the film sets out to tell the story of Saru's life, but it succeeds in making you feel two families living thousands of miles away, but linked by the love of their son, Saru. I completely recommend everybody see this film, and hopefully it will be acknowledged at the Oscars. I've been the Movie Geek. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you soon.